We recently went on a photographic assignment for Yara International, a client of 22 Media. It was mainly aimed at gathering photographic material for their African marketing campaign. We went to photograph a variety of local farmers working on a variety of different crops. We mainly went to two different areas. The one was in the south of the country against the foothills of Kilimanjaro. What was quite striking was the difference between the two locations. In the south it was still during the dry season, so it was very dry. But even so, there was a lot of crops on the fields, crops getting ready for harvest. And in the northwest, we went to the highlands. That's the coffee growing region, densely overgrown tropical forests. And yeah, it was quite interesting to see how the landscape and the climate differed within about a distance of 700 kilometers. What was interesting to see is that agriculture is being practiced everywhere in Kenya. In the rural regions, everywhere you go, there's agricultural activities going on. We drove past some of the biggest rice fields I've seen anywhere. I didn't realize that Kenya is such a huge rice producing country. It's one of their main crops that they produce. I think their biggest challenge is modernization, mechanization. A lot of the agriculture is still being done in the traditional manual form. And I'm not meaning mechanization in grand scale, but small scale mechanization, simple form of mechanization. And then the other thing where I think they can improve a lot is on fertilization and management of resources. They are very dependent on their rainfall. We didn't see much irrigation on any of the small scale farmers' land. We were generally received with open arms. Everyone was very polite and very friendly towards us, very cooperative. There are still people and cultures in Kenya that is very shy of being photographed. So there were some people that didn't like their pictures being taken and asked us not to photograph them. Especially in the south, the Maasai people that live in the south are generally, culturally, they are very shy of the cameras. Kenya and Nairobi specifically was quite an eye-opener. The hotel where we stayed at in Nairobi was really world-class. It will match up with any of the best hotels in South Africa or any other place in the world. The people in Kenya in general are also very literate, very well educated generally. So it is definitely one of the up and coming countries in Africa. They are becoming one of the technological leaders. A lot of development, especially in software and computer and mobile apps and so on, is happening in Kenya. So it's definitely a very progressive country, and I think one should keep tabs on where they go in the future. They will become a contender as one of the big economies in Africa.